Click. Click. Hello everyone, this is Take from bigheadtaco.com, and I'm coming to you here from Leo's Camera Supply, and I'm here to shoot another video, and this time the XT10 has been released, and so you can see all the stickers are gone, so no need to hide it. The XT10, fantastic camera. Check out either my preview or my full review on my channel here, wherever it's going to be. But I am going to be doing a review on the newly released XF16mm f1.4. What's the full name? 1.4 RWR with nano GI technology. So I had the pre-production model, which I wasn't allowed to post any pictures. Now this is the actual production model. It was so close to production that I didn't see any difference in image quality or even just sort of the feel of it. But it's a very well built lens. In terms of balance, it probably balances better on the XT1. It's a little bit front heavy on the XT10, but not uncomfortably front heavy. So it is a prime lens, and I have the other prime lenses here from Fujifilm. So as a comparison, I have the 14mm f2.8 prime lens, and I have the 18mm f2 prime lens. Just sort of a comparison of the three wide-angle prime lenses that Fujifilm has. Now, Leo's is a very popular camera store, and you can hear people coming in and out, so we'll just keep on shooting. This is the way a camera store should be, and I see people with very interesting cameras walking in, especially with film cameras. So, but I'll keep on shooting my video here. But this 16mm lens is great. When Fuji came out with the XF18 to 55, their standard zoom, I was a little bit disappointed. I wish it went to 16. 16 has sort of become the new standard wide, if you can call it that. Even the Fujifilm's, the XF1 was I think a 25 to 100. The LX3 was a 24 to 60. The Canon, the S series, the S90, S95, S100, 110, 120, I think they all go to 24. The RX series, Sony goes to 24. So 24, we've gotten used to 24. And with the software adjustment and lens technology, it's not as distorted as the old film days. So as a standard wide, personally, I actually really like the 16mm, the wide angle, and with 1.4 you actually get really nice shallow depth of field. So if that's the kind of look you're looking for, you can get it easily with this wide angle lens, which isn't an easy feat. Now comparing it with the 14mm f2.8, you can actually see quite a significant size difference. Maybe you can't see it, the hood may be throwing it off, but it is quite a bit, at least here, I have the specs here. Now the 16mm lens is 375 grams in weight, where the 14 is 235, so that's over 140 gram weight difference. That's a huge difference, you can tell right away. And in terms of balance, I actually like the balance of the 14 on the XT10 versus the 16, but you know, 16 is a great focal length for street. 18 is also good. This is the 18 f2. It's even lighter than the other two. It is 116 grams, so it's half the weight of the 14 and over 250 grams lighter. So you can get almost you can get 3 of these lenses for the weight of the one lens here. So these 3, it comes down to your shooting style, 14, 16, 18. So in a 35mm equivalent, it's basically going 20, 21, and then going 24, and then going 27. So it doesn't sound like much, but when you shoot, you can tell right away. So with this lens here, it is weather sealed, where the other 2 are not. And you know, Fuji's gotten really good with their weather sealing. The only way you really notice that it's weather sealed is you could feel a little rubber gasket along where the lens goes onto the mount. So one of the things I think in the future is that Fujifilm should go backwards compatible, and make these previous prime lenses into weather sealed lenses. And so zooms are a little bit different. There's a lot more involved in zoom lenses, but with these primes, I'm sure it'd be reasonably easy to do. So that's one of the suggestions I have for Fujifilm. But this, like the 14, has that push-pull manual focus, so you can see how you're in autofocus here. I'm not sure if you can see it that well. And then you pull it down, you immediately go to to manual focus, and it actually has a focus scale and it has a depth of field scale. Now that's a good thing, but there's something I've suggested to Fujifilm as well, is that when you go into manual focus mode, it doesn't show in the back screen. You know, there's the Fujifilm has the focusing and depth of field scale in the back. Now in AF mode, that scale is there, but on these push-pull manual focus lenses, the manual focus scale disappears. Now I'm assuming that the assumption is because the scale is here, there's no need to have it here, but it is nice, you know, when you're shooting, and especially you can see the scale in the EVF, it is nice to actually have the ability to see the scale. So if Fuji can do that, that would be great. Another thing is I actually really like the squared off metal lens hood on the 18f2. The 16, it has, it's not horribly constructed. It's just this plastic tulip style lens hood. Maybe, you know, for a premium lens, it's gonna come in at, looks like $1150. I should double check that's Canadian US, but $1,150 lens, so it's $400 more than the 18. You know, a little bit nicer of a lens hood. That's one of the things there that I think should be done. But for standard prime shooting street, if you want to go wide, to me 28 now is 28mm wide angle equivalent and a 35mm wide angle equivalent. So an APS-C size, that'll be anywhere between 18 to 23mm APS-C size format. That's become sort of the standard lens in terms of, I wouldn't even call it standard wide, because people don't consider 35mm wide anymore because the technology has gotten so good to go wide angle. So I would say that for standard walk around wide angle lens, you start at 16, and if you want to get more extreme, you go to the 14. 14 is a 90-degree angle, so in terms of visualizing 90, we know 90 degrees like this, right? So when you shoot with the 14mm, you're seeing 90, so you can almost visualize what you're going to get in the picture with the 14mm lens. And the 24mm or the 16mm is the 83.2, so it's just a little bit narrower. So you still can sort of walk around and figure what's going to be in the lens. But the beauty of a 16mm wide angle is not as much getting a wide panorama shot of nature. You can definitely do that, but it's when you're in tight spaces, that's where you can really notice that the jump from 18 to 16, you can really see how you can get, makes things look closer, and especially when you get really close, like into kind of a macro type photography, you can really see how that 16mm wide angle perspective really starts to give that, especially when it comes to people, you get that photojournalist kind of a look. So if you like to shoot people and you like to shoot very close and intimate, this is actually a fantastic lens. So check out my full review. I'll eventually have it up on my blog at bigheadtaco.com to see the image quality, but it's a fantastic lens, very well built, priced well for what it is, and also think about the 18f2 if you want something more compact. My favorite wide-angle lens in the Fujifilm lineup is the 14f2.8. Now, one of the last things I was going to mention is perhaps Fujifilm already has this in the works, but you know, they committed themselves to an f1.4 on this 16mm lens. I was actually secretly hoping for it to be an f2, so that it'll be a little bit more compact. I don't mind that it's f2. If it's a 16 f2, I didn't mind that it's one stop slower. But you think about the Leica model. So the f2 lenses are called Summicrons, the f1.4 lenses are called Summoluxes, the f2.8 lenses are Elmerit, and so on and so forth. The Noctilux is 0.95 aperture, which is amazing. It's super shallow depth of field. So in the future, hopefully Fuji will start using that same business model for their lenses, that they can come out with a 60mm f2 and maybe even an f2.8 and have different price points, because you know this 18 f2, it's lighter, it's smaller, and the construction quality is not a badly constructed lens, but it's definitely, you could tell there's a premium difference. Now, I'm not telling Fuji to make cheaper feeling lenses, but you know, making the aperture different, like the difference between a Summilux and a Summicron in the Leica world, build quality, it's the same, even in Elmerit, if the quality is the same, it's just because of the aperture difference. It's not just the aperture, but the rendering. of the lens's sharpness and how it looks also changes. So Fujifilm has this technology and the engineering prowess to be able to make an f1.4, f2, f2.8 versions of any lens and have each one render things a little bit differently. So if I had even this one, if there was a 60mm f2.8 version and it was significantly smaller, I would personally, as a street photographer, I don't really shoot wide open at f1.4 on the street. I'm usually at about f6.7, f8, f11 or f9 even. So if they came up with a slower version, a little bit more inexpensive, a little bit more compact, that would be my choice. But there's nothing wrong with this f1.4. This is a sexy premium lens, and maybe they'll even come up with a 1.2 or even an f1 version of this lens for someone who wants that and maybe even willing to pay that price. So anyways, this is my quick review of the new XF16 f1.4 weather resistant, weather sealed lens. Coming to you here again from Leo's Camera Supply. Thank you so much for letting me shoot here, and we will see. And this is again with the new Fujifilm X-T10 lens. I mean body, fantastic body. So come down to Leo's or come to any camera store that's near you and check out these new products from Fujifilm. Thank you for watching and happy shooting. Click, click.